Hello and welcome back to the channel. Amber here, and a huge drop this morning with the Wheel of Time's first big video teaser of episode 1 of season 3, where we see the Black Ajah attack on Valon. But before we get into it, this will obviously contain spoilers for the TV show, but I'll remain quiet about book spoilers. And secondly, if you would like to keep in touch, find me on Blue Sky, Discord, and Instagram. Also, if you would like to help support the channel, check out Road to Valon on Patreon or YouTube memberships. You can find this teaser listed under Prime Video's 3rd season extras. So, wow. This teaser is a really big one. Now, the first thing I'd like to point out is the first moments of Suan gazing out into the land beyond the tower, while the camera cuts to Moiraine standing in the rain looking to Valon. Obviously, I think this symbolizes Moiraine and Suan's connection. Perhaps both of them are thinking about each other. And what happened after last season, where we last saw Moiraine entering the Waygate with Lanfear, Rand, and Lan, it is fair to think their relationship and connection is fractured. But there's also the possibility that their last scene together was something of a ruse to give Suan plausible deniability. She tried to stop Rand from leaving, but failed. There's also the theory that this ruse ended when Suan learned Moiraine could channel, when Moiraine claimed to be stilled, which could lead Suan to believe Moiraine is a dark friend because she thought it was a lie. Now in the teaser, Lan says she'll be all right, to which Moiraine replies, "Today isn't about her." Now I took this to mean they are speaking about Suan, not Nynaeve, which means the two are definitely in contact because Moiraine knows that this confrontation with Leandrin is happening. So hopefully this all points to some type of closure after last season, or an indication that the two have been scheming the whole way through season 2. Now the next big thing that I want to point out is Verin is walking briskly with her sister Adeleas and Naomi of the Brown Ajah, and she drops her trademark line, "Always plan for the worst, sisters," which, if you haven't read the books, is a big insight into Verin's personality. Being prepared and weighing the options in advance is a hallmark of Verin Mathwin. So it's really good to see this displayed. It also leads me to believe that Verin might have planned for a few other things as well that should be revealed later in this season. Now, the next thing we see is Alana giving her warders assurance, telling them to wait outside because the Aes Sedai are ready for whatever comes, even if there are other dark friends among them. I'd like to point out that in the trailer, Alana says the lines, "We don't win battles with politics and prophecies, we win with armies." I believe that this is going to be another indication that there will be more of a fracture within the White Tower to come. Perhaps between characters with different ideologies, or perhaps between the Ajahs themselves. Those who believe statesmanship and politics is the way, or those who are finished with words and want to take action now. After this fight in the tower, it's easy to see that something big lies ahead. Who will manage to fix things and pick up the pieces? Now, as Leandrin enters the hall, the Red Ajah is barred from entering, but Leandrin has a few tricks up her sleeve, which we will get to shortly. Before Suan can charge Leandrin with anything, Leandrin accuses Suan of breaking tower law by meeting with Moiraine and Rand al'Thor without caging him. Suan is charged with letting Rand escape willingly. Now, Suan is no chump, and she has the perfect comeback. Sure, if that's true, you could depose me. But I know that you can lie. You can break the 3 oaths. You have sworn yourself to the shadow. You are a dark friend. Then Nynaeve is marched in to testify about being sold to the Shan-Chen, and of course, this is where all hell breaks loose. And the smirk from Kate Fleetwood here while she says, "Well, I tried," is sending me. Kate Fleetwood has some of the most incredible delivery of lines, so she totally feigns defeat. But like I said, Leandrin has an ace up her sleeve. She attempts to attack Suan with the one power, which for non-book readers, this is also an indication that she has sworn to the Dark One, because Aes Sedai are magically bound by laws that are impossible to break. Attacking a sister with the one power is proof, plain and simple. While suspending Leandrin in midair, Suan Sanche explains to her that she will be tried, stilled, and will give up every member of the Black Ajah before you die. But Leandrin's secret Black Ajah cabal is there in the room. So it looks like Suan and her side have assumed the Black Ajah members would be from the Red Ajah, and they sadly assumed incorrectly. Fireballs fly, women are cut in half, bricks and columns fall, and Suan drops when she's hit by debris. And a huge shout out to the actress who plays Leanne, Jennifer Chiang Garcia, who screams in absolute anguish watching Suan fall. Such a painful moment. If Swan's biggest confidant is Moiraine, Leanne is a close second. All right, so here's the part where I'm trying to contain myself, and this is hard because it speaks to the deepest, nerdiest depth of my book-loving soul. Verin escorts Naomi and Adeleas to the 13th depository. This is the greatest library in the world of the Wheel of Time. It keeps all the secret documents and histories, and in the case of the television show, where the tower is keeping its strongest angreal, or objects of the one power that can boost the power of channelers or do specific tasks. Verin says she wants to retrieve them for Suan to keep them safe. Then she uses some weaves in a way that we haven't yet seen. She seemingly opens up what looks like a portal to get to the other side of the wall. Is it a gateway? Or was it all just an illusion that she swipes away? Non-book readers, keep this moment in the back of your mind for later. Book readers should be vibrating in excitement right now. So Verin says, "Mother has asked us to protect these objects." Then the camera pans to a metallic cuff, which could be one of the most important ter'angreal we see all season. It also shows something that looks like a multi-sided dice with multiple images on it. One is the flame of Valon. One is a torch, or maybe a rose. One looks like a chalice, a sun, a crown. And dear friends, I am so locked in right now. I believe this is a ter'angreal called the six-spotted dice. If so, it's an object that can influence twist or suspend chance. Now, one of our main characters in the show has this ability inborn in them. They are able to manipulate chance or luck. My theory is that this object might be assigned to the character to give a visual interpretation of how this works. Or it's just a fun Easter egg. We shall see. We can also see a small carving of a woman, something that looks like a scepter, which could be the Sarkarnan, which is an extremely powerful sa'angreal capped by an hourglass-shaped cup. which has ties to the nation of Shara. If this is indeed the Sarkarnan, then wow, we are in for a treat. If you want to remain free of book spoilers, skip ahead until the spoiler bar disappears. But I think this is indeed an indication that we will see the Forsaken Demandred this season. Also, in my interview with Sharon Gillam, she hints at an episode 7 or 8 reveal of an incredibly important character that we only see for a short time. If it's not the Finn, I could see this being Demandred. And she also said that she had to work with the makeup effects team. So, if you know a little bit about Demandred, then you should know what he looks like and what a makeup effects team would be used for. All right, now moving on. The big plot twist is Naomi of the Brown Ajah is actually another member of Leandrin's Black Ajah Cabal. She hits Verin and Adelaus with something that I'm very confident is weaves of compulsion, or at least a lesser form of it, because Adelaus no longer remembers who Verin is. She also looted the 13th depository of all the objects of the One Power. Now back to the fight. Leandrin is healed, and Leanne Sheriff bludgeons one of the Black Ajah members to death with her staff in pure righteous feminine rage. Wow, guys, what a scene. The remaining 4 Black Ajah members blow a hole in the wall and escape to the streets of Tar Valon, while Moiraine looks helplessly to Lan. Now on the streets, Naomi groups up with all the surviving Black Ajah members, and Leandrin asks if she got it, which implies that it was planned that Naomi would somehow rob the tower's top secret library. And dear book readers, ask yourself how, and don't forget this moment. As the battle spills out onto the streets, we get a closer look at Leandrin's group. There are 7 who have made it out of the tower. A variety of all the Ajahs, but Joya Bayar is not among them. But we do know from the trailer that she is being held prisoner. And to sum up the ending, Alana and her warders have a real Western-style standoff with the Black Ajah. The twangy music, the pose, the middle of the street stare down. I love how this is shot. Maybe I'm being too sentimental, but this feels like a big nod to Robert Jordan himself. A bit of a country boy who, in his own right, wrote one of the first really big American fantasy series with mass appeal. A nod to Americana in film during an era where fantasy is sometimes equated with medieval European visuals, actors, and settings. So, let me know what you think. I'll be back to cover more as more is revealed. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you back soon.